Hello, I'm Paul Pluta and welcome to Paul Pluta Prestige. Today I'd like to talk about the Rolex Sea Dweller. And the model I want to talk about today is the Sapphire version and its model reference 16600. That's 16600. And this is the Sapphire piece, which was the Sea Dweller all through the late 80s, 90s, and this is the piece that was replaced by the Sea Dweller. And I've got to say, sorry, the Deep Sea, I should say. This Sea Dweller itself, this is probably, I think, the most usable and nicest. And I've got to say, with the Deep Sea, I don't like how they've changed it. It's a big, chunky piece. Whereas with the Sapphire Sea Dweller, yes, it's a chunky, big piece, but it's done in a very elegant way. And they've tried to hide the bulk. And I actually bought one of these pieces for a good friend of mine. He wanted a Sea Dweller, and we obtained one. And these are the pics here. And it's a very impressive piece. At this stage, this was the only diving watch with the solid end links. And the Submariners, they were a little bit tinny there because they had the different type of the end clasp, like the traditional Datejust. They had that clasp there. But I've got to say, these Sea Dwellers themselves, I think these are a piece you could easily fall in love with. And they're just very, very beautiful. And my preference has always been for a Submariner Sea Dweller which doesn't have the Cyclops. And the No Date Sub and the Sea Dweller both do not have that Cyclops. So I think the proportions and the way it presents itself is just done so eloquently. And I really, really do love these watches here, and it's a great shame that they no longer make the Sea Dweller, and they've gone to the Deep Sea, which I think has lost that kind of appeal. Personally, I think it's over the top. But the Sea Dweller itself, it's an amazing piece, beautiful piece of kit just to go to the beach with, or go snorkeling with, or deep sea diving with. And I just love that black dial. I mean, it's just the bezel. They're a gorgeous piece, absolutely gorgeous piece. And I've always admired them. I think they're a very, very good bang per buck piece. They're starting to rise in price because they're an obsolete model. But you can still pick one up at a reasonable price. I'd much rather get a Sapphire Sea Dweller than these silly green Submariners. I mean, I've never liked the green Submariner, and I don't really understand why there's been such a big interest in them. And I'd much rather have a Sapphire Sea Dweller. And I think the Sapphire model is probably the best to have. You know, the plastic, the acrylic, that's okay, but I think for a watch just to have for yourself, we're not talking about investment potential or things like that, we're talking about a great watch. I really love the Sapphire, and in the Sea Dweller itself, they're using a 1mm thicker piece of glass there as well, so I should say sapphire crystal. So it's quite an amazing piece. Okay, let's go through the scoring. For the brand itself, we're going to score a 7 for Rolex. The significance of the Sea Dweller, it would have to score a 10. I mean, this is a legendary model. For the movement itself, and I'm rating the helium escape valve and how it all works together. I'm going to give it an 8. For the quality and workmanship of this piece here, I'm going to give it a 9. Okay? And the Paul Pluta Prestige rating, I'm going to give it an 8, which gives us a score of 42 points for the 16600 Sapphire Sea Dweller. Thank you very much for listening to this review.